We're also on your side today with an alert about a recent recall with a Nebraska connection. Azurity Pharmaceuticals recalled some of its ADHD and narcolepsy medicine after a different drug ended up being mixed in. The company says a Nebraska pharmacist noticed some of its bottles of the stimulant Zenzetti contained a sedative. The recall warns people who take the wrong medicine could experience some drowsiness and possible risk of injury. Fortunately, there are no reports so far of anyone hurt from this mix-up. More information about this story can be found over at WOWT.com.